Hello everybody. I thought I'd just pop the camera on because there's a new prompt for the Roxy's Journal of Stitchery for June and I really want to do it. I actually denied about May and I made my mind up pretty much the last couple of weeks. Yes, I'm going to do it. And I rummaged around to find a box because all my boxes are already covered. It's something I do, you know. So I didn't really have anything that I wanted to cover, but I did manage to find one. And it was a little box that I keep my test tubes in. And it's the only undecorated box I could find. But then I got unwell, so I didn't end up doing it, which is a shame. But I may go back and do it because I'd like to cover this. It just has my glass test tubes in here, and it was hiding. Took me a while to find it, actually. So there we go. That's what I'm going to do, but I didn't get it done. So that's why I really do want to get June done before they start their new thing for the second half of the year. And the prompt for June is fabric vessel. And I really like the way, I like Sarah's. I mean, I like them both. Don't get me wrong, I like them both, but I thought I would get more use out of Sarah's. And so I started looking around online, and there's heaps and heaps and heaps of fabric bowls and plates and things like that, and cups and things you can make. Once you start looking and you start changing your words up a little bit, fabric, cloth, you know, stitched and all this sort of thing, it's amazing what you can find. And as I was looking through, I thought, oh, it's kind of like a, what are they called? Oh, no. I had it on the tip of my tongue. You know what like a bowl caddy? A bowl, oh, there's a word for that. I can't remember what it was. But where it keeps things warm. They're like that, aren't they? And so I was thinking along that line. And so I was looking, and I've actually got a pattern for that sort of thing. So that would have been easy. But then as I was sort of looking on Pinterest and that, I saw this lovely little one. And I thought that might be a bit too small, but the concept was there, so it sort of kept prompting me. And then I thought, you know, like, I'll just do, like, instead of, like, I found a pattern online. It's a patchwork, well, you know, a patchwork pattern, and it's an octagon, and it's got like elongated octagonal pieces. Are they 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hexagonal pieces? Sorry, on an octagon. So it's kind of a dish that goes like Sarah's, but it's made from smaller pieces like this, rather than having to do all the measurements. But then I saw, oh, I don't know what her name is. Just a sec. Oh, I'll have it because I think I saved it. Oh, is what I saw. You see this? Isn't that lovely? And although it's a little box, so I suppose it could cover last month as well. But this one's quite tiny. And it's actually a little thread catcher. Susan Steele. Now, I don't know whether that's her work or her photo, but there you go. Isn't it gorgeous? And so that got me thinking, just put that safe. I have my big strawberry next to my sewing machine, and it catches all the threads. This is just from the last little journal I've been making. All these threads, and I use them, and it's actually ideal because they stick to it, and I can just, you know, put them there. But when I walk by, it all sticks to me, to my jumpers or whatever I'm wearing, and I end up with threads everywhere. So I thought a little thread catcher may be the job. And I wasn't intending on having a lid on it, but I can always put one on if I want. And although that one in the picture, it only looks like it's about that big, I want one a bit bigger because I get a lot of threads. And I thought this might work, but instead of making it a bowl, I can close up the top part so it would actually go like that and have a curved bowl effect rather than an open plate, which it's meant for. So that's what I'm going to make. And to me, these are the templates. I'll put a link to these in the description box below. I've printed them on, good heavyweight paper, and I've done 2 lots because I'll need them for the inside and the outside. Yes. And then I'll sandwich some cotton wadding in the middle. And I thought what I'd like to do is I was sent some beautiful things by Julie Wilson. And these are just some of them. And I thought I might like to start using some of these. I have used some, but it would be nice to use some of these. And I'm only going to do the, isn't that so sweet? Oh, look at the blue. I'm only going to be more decorative, cats playing with the ball in the hallway, more decorative on the outside. I'm going to leave the inside in neutral tones. I'm still going to slow stitch it, but it's all going to be neutral because I want to see what's in there. If the inside is decorated, I'm always trying to pick things up and they're not to be picked up, they're attached. So I prefer the inside in this case to be plain and the outside more decorative, especially if it's going to sit up like that, I think. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? Oh, it pays to go. Oh, look. That's that little weaving stitch, I think. Or is it cross stitch? My goodness, it's so fine, isn't it? That's absolutely gorgeous. You got your ball, darling. Oh, they're trying to keep warm. It's turned quite chilly. Oh, they're beautiful, aren't they? Look at that. So that's what my mission is. That's lovely. For this month, to find little bits and pieces to decorate the outside. So in reality, I could decorate each one of these separately and stitch them together, or I could stitch them together and then decorate them, or a bit of both. A bit of both. Yes. Perhaps a bit of both. So the first thing I've got to do is find out what fabric I'm going to be using. Isn't that gorgeous? Look at that cross stitch. And the blanket stitch all the way around. Oh, it's hard to cut into things sometimes. Oh my goodness. But with the plain things, see, it could be just a piece off here, like a plain. They can be just different colour neutrals for the hexagons for the inside. Maybe I should start with that. That way my mind can start moving around and thinking about things. Look at that. While I'm doing the inside. See, that's got a totally different texture. I don't know if that would be the right size, but it probably would. Look at that. I could get one of those hexagons out of that. I could, because I'll have to hand stitch them all together. It's a slow stitching project. I think, Rachel did say that, so look at these, you can cut those out. And there's another one there. See, it's got all that blank space there that I can use. See, when you think of the different colours, it could look quite pretty just having different colours. There's another one there. And there's 3 different colours there already. Is that one? Oh. You think, oh my goodness, how do I cut it? The thing is, what else are you going to use them for? Really, these days, I mean, we don't really use doilies, do we? I mean, some people do. My cats would be playing with them, I think. I used to use the odd doily, and I still do under a vase of flowers, strangely enough. That one there. So what we got? We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Look at this. This is just gorgeous, isn't it? But I wouldn't use it as a doily, but I love, love, love all of the work. It's so pretty. That would be lovely on a circle journal or something to use. But is that a different colour, that one? It could be. Okay, so what I'm going to do, and I'll have a look in my drawer for any already cut up doilies as well, rather than, you know, cutting into all the good stuff as well. But, I mean, that's what it's for, isn't it? There's that side as well. Oh, I love that. Oh, look, that one's actually got a little mend in it. How? Oh, no, it's not even mended. Look at that. I could mend it. Once they've got a rip or something in it, I have no problem cutting things up. When I'm at the shop and I'm thrifting or something, I prefer to buy the ones with a little bit of damage, because then there's no guilt. So, okay, I could use something like that on the inside of the lid if I put a lid on. Okay, I'm going to go away and find, how many do I need? I need 8, 9, maybe 10 pieces of plain fabric to do the inside of my little vessel. So I'll go ahead and do that, and I'll come back and show you what I find. Okay, so I have found my fabrics. I've cut them all out and I've pinned them onto the shapes. And another thing that attracted to me to this design was I recently did the hexagonal pouch by Jennifer Clouston, and I absolutely enjoyed doing that, and this kind of reminds me of that. So that's why I'm doing it. So I'm just going to do one of these and show you. This is English paper piecing. So you can start anywhere. You can start in the middle if you like, just to hold it in its position there. In fact, you can take a bit of a stitch in the middle to hold its place. And then you just come over. Oops, of course, one pin, and it's going to go around it. Although I probably won't need that in a minute anyway. And then you just take some large stitches and catch the corners. it's important to have a stitch on the corner as you bend the fabric over. You don't need too many stitches, just enough to keep it where it's supposed to go. And some of these, the turnover isn't very big, and that wasn't intentional. That was just because of the amount of fabric I had to work with, cutting in between the pretty embroidery pieces. See, I didn't want to ruin any of the embroidery. And I used a lot of the ones from Julie's doilies that she sent me, but also I had a couple of pieces that were already cut up, so I got a couple of pieces from that as well. It's a bit of a mixture. I think I did that. I looped that over, but that's okay because all this stitching will come out at the end anyway. So just a couple of stitches on each side, depending how long that side is, but just make sure your corners are nice and tight, nice and pointy. You want to keep a nice crisp corner, and I'll probably press these once I've stitched them, because there's a couple of, oh, this one's not too bad, there's a couple of creases in some of them. And I mean, depending on what you're making, that may not matter. I'm just going to put an extra stitch on that corner to hold it in position, I think, to keep it nice and tight. And I'm using a really strong needle for this because the paper is quite a thick paper, and I will be able to use these pieces again. I think it's about could be about a 120 GSM weight paper. And then at the end there, make sure you get that tucked in before you finish it off. And then just a extra stitch at the end. There we go. And then I can finish that one off. And that's the first one done. And you see the texture? I was trying to get like at least 4 different fabrics, just so that the textures are a little bit different on them. So I'll go ahead and I will do that to all of these shapes, and then I'll be back. Alright, so they're all tacked now. When I was doing it before, I had them facing that way, like that, and I think they're meant to go with the long way and then the short way, whereas I had it like, you know, the short way, then the long way. Technically, you can do it either way. The thing that will happen is, if you have it with the short side towards the base, you will end up with a pot that goes like that. And there's the top, and it will go like that. Whereas if you have the long plate part facing the bottom, you will have, I hope you can see this, a pot that is more like that. And there's the top. Do you see the difference there? So if you put the short side towards the center, you'll end up with something with that shape. And if you put the long side towards the base, you will end up with that shape. I'm thinking I prefer that shape for this particular project. So I'm going to keep the long side towards the base. Now, all you have to do now is stitch these parts onto their corresponding base piece. So you'll stitch one and open it up. Stitch another, open it up, and so on around. You don't stitch the side pieces together just yet. So I'll stitch one on. Doesn't matter which one I start with. And I did give them a light press. Let me get a needle set up. I don't want to use the same needle I was using because that was a thick needle for, I want a nice thin needle actually. That one's might be a bit better to get through the cardboard, but I don't want it going through the cardboard now. And I want a good quality thread now. I'm going to use a Gutermann thread. This is a cheap thread that I used for the tacking. It's only going to get tossed away, so you don't need a heavyweight thread for that, but I want a nice quality for my actual stitching. So I've got a nice new roll of Gutermann here. It's always a good thing, isn't it? There we go, we got it. So I'll just stitch one on and show you. Oh no, Molly, you have to get down, darling. Oh, come on, sweetheart. Go on. Good girl. Good girl. I think I might make this a double thread, just so it's nice and strong. Right. And so, to start with, just make sure you've got them nice and even. Come in under here, under your folds and everything, so you can hide your knot. And then take a stitch like that and notch the stitch. Close it. And you don't want these stitches too close together. You only want to take a couple of threads up, but you don't want them too close together. I heard that from one of the ladies. I'm not quite sure which of the ladies it was. I'm not sure if it was Jennifer Clouston or Marion or Catherine from Clothworks. Cloth Tales, sorry. But one of the ladies did say that, and that was something new that I learnt, because I was always putting my stitches, I always thought you had to do really tiny stitches, but it weakens them. And then when you get to the middle here, do a double stitch with a knot, like that. Oops, got a bit of a tangle going there. I hope you can see this all right. Sometimes when I'm showing something, it's easy to concentrate on what you're showing and you end up getting things a little bit wrong. There we go, we got it. That little tail there will come out because that's part of the tacking stitches. And then you carry on all the way to the other end, like so. And then when you get to the other end, you make sure it's nicely in the corner there, and you do another stitch over the top and knot that one as well, like that. You open it up and you take the next one in the queue, making sure they're the right, you know, you haven't got them like that or anything, making sure you've got it like that. Put that in its position like that, and then just do the exact same thing, joining those corners. Like that, and doing a knot again, and then you can continue on however it's comfortable with your stitches across the top of that one, and do the exact same thing as you did for the first one, all the way around. And see, you don't see the stitches, well, it's white on white basically, so always try and get your thread as close to the fabric color as you can. Sometimes that can be difficult if you're using colors and one piece is a lot different to another one, but you just have to, you know, you just try your best. A little knot in the center there, and then continue on. I'll be back when I've gone all the way around. Okay, so that's all done. That didn't take long at all, actually. Now I can sort of give you an idea of what I mean. Look, that will go like that, and it gives that, but then I'm going to attach that. And see the shape it kind of gives? Whereas it would be the opposite way around. Now, the lady where I got this pattern from, there it is there. It's a free pattern. You just download it. She does have a tutorial. I didn't kind of read the tutorial. I quickly glanced at the pictures. I know what to do. But if you don't and you'd like to read her tutorial, that's also on her blog. So, okay, so now, before I go any further, I want to cut out my wadding. And last time I was at Spotlight, I got some lovely natural cotton wadding without scrim. So it should be easy to stitch in, I'm hoping. So I'm just going to cut a piece out as best I can here. So if I can just cut a piece. Like that. And like that. Okay. So if I line that up like that, and I put one of those there, and one of those there, like that, and then I can get my pencil. I want to be careful I don't get the pencil on too much on the fabric, this fabric. And I'm just going to, hopefully that's, yep, can you see that? Leaves just the right amount of marking for me to cut my wadding out. And so I'll go do that and then I'll be back and I'll cut it out. Okay, I've gone around that, and I did forget to mention that what I want to do is cut that out, but slightly smaller than the actual line. So I want to be on the inside of the line, like that. See how, I don't know if you can see, I've just come on inside of that line. So I'm going to do that all the way around. Okay, so that's cut out now, and it's cut out slightly smaller than that, but it's not going to get attached to the inside. It's going to get attached to the outside of the vessel. I just wanted to have it cut out. I also cut this out, but I think this is the wrong stabilizer type of, what is it called? Iron-on for the outside. I've cut that out, but I'm sure I bought a new one recently, a much nicer one. So I'm going to put those two. I'll just show you before I do that. Taking all the threads out of one of these. So we just go along. So there's all the threads out, like that. And like you, because I want to put the interfacing on, I can't do it afterwards. I have to do it this way. So like that. Then I can iron the interfacing piece on, then I can stitch it all together. Usually you would stitch it together and then remove the paper. Okay, so I gave that a light press, and I did find the other one I was looking for. I forget what it's called. And I've cut two of them out, one for the inside and one for the outside. So let's hope they will fit. I can trim it down if they don't. So what I'll do is I'll start over here and just iron that on and work my way around. One side is smooth and the other side is it's kind of a little bit rough. And that's the side the glue is on, of course. I just don't want it too close to the edge. And this just gives you more to stitch into, really. Let's just turn it around a bit. That one's a little bit long. There. They should be fine. So, and this is the inside of my little vessel. Okay. Like that. And you can sort of see the seams behind it, but it's the inside. It's fine. I'll use a darker fabric probably on the outside, I'm thinking. But then by the time, you know, it's sandwiched with the wadding as well, you lose a lot of that. But I won't see it anyway because it's the inside. Okay, so that is what I've done so far. I have the wadding cut out. I have the other little interfacing, I think that's what it's called. It's like an applique type of thing. So I've got those, and they're to be attached to the front piece. I have a couple more pieces here, just in case I have a lid. I don't think I'm going to have a lid. I just don't think I'll use it. I'll just, you know, it's for putting threads in. I don't want to be opening and closing things all the time. So now that this is done, I can do stitching on that. But I think I haven't given it a great deal of thought, to be honest. Okay. Because I don't really want to decorate it. Maybe I'll just canvas stitch it. Maybe that's what I'll do. Okay. Well, I think that's it for on the next video. I will go ahead and do some stitching on this piece. And for the next one, then we can get to the pretty part. The outside is going to be my pretty part, not the inside. If it were a plate or something like that, I would be decorating the inside. But because mine's going to be up like that, I want the outside to be plain so that I can see what's in there and empty it and know that it's all gone. So I will go and I will do my stitching, I guess. And I'll probably just do the running stitch on the inside. Nothing too fancy. And then I will more than likely sew the side pieces together, maybe. Because I'm eager to see the shape it gets. It's going to be like that. See that? Which will be nice. It's going to be a good size, actually. Probably a bit bigger than I need, but I get a lot of threads and scraps of, you know, near the sewing machine, so it's fine. It's fine. I can use it for anything, really, can't I? Okay, that's my video for today. I hope you've enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching. Take care. Bye.